Hello and welcome back to the channel on our continuing voyage to become better blues players. My name's Mark, and in this lesson we're going to look at the solo to ZZ Top's Gimme All Your Lovin. This is the most requested lesson I've had on my channel. Several people have been continually asking for it, so finally I've put it together and here it is. The way the video is going to work is, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to break the solo down into 7 licks and show you them one by one. Nice and slow with tab on the screen so you can put them together yourself. That's how they are on the record. Then we'll come back on the other side, and what I'll do is I'll give you some tips about how to perform them and different things, and show you some alternative fingerings as well, some slightly different ways of playing the licks that might be a little bit easier because some of them might be a bit challenging. Okay, so we're going to start with a lick by lick breakdown of exactly what's on the record. Okay, so here's lick 1. Okay, and nice and slow. Important thing is it comes in on beat 2, so the counting is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And here's lick 2. And nice and slow. Now this comes in on beat 3 of the second bar. Beat 4 of the second bar. There is this little figure here, which is just like an incidental picking noise. We'll talk more about that later on. But here's the lick again, nice and slow. And nice and slow. Okay, and nice and slow. Comes in on the and after beat 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, lick 5. One, 2, 3, 4. Okay, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you'll notice that actually there's a pinched harmonic in there on the original recording as well. I can't get that for a couple of reasons. One is I've got this horrible plaster on my finger because I've actually sliced my finger on a knife, but never mind. But the other one is that, I'll be honest, I struggle to get that harmonic in the heat of battle when you're trying to play that lick at full speed, to think of actually picking that particular note in a slightly different way. If you want to work on it, you can do that and get that harmonic in there. I've been playing with this solo for a week or 2 now and I'm struggling to get that in. So to be honest, I just kind of ignored it. Okay, that was, what was that? That was lick 5. Let's do lick 6. And nice and slow. Okay, this is one where you might want to go for an alternative fingering up here, because you kind of, your hand's already around this position, not have to jump back down. That's up to you. We'll talk more about that at the end. So this will be lick 7 now. And nice and slow. Okay, to me, he sounds like he's letting a lot of those notes ring out, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do. It's a tricky lick, this. I think this one and also lick 3, I think he's using a combination of pick and finger to pick 2 notes at the same time. He might be strumming it like this. You go for whichever way you think kind of suits. Okay, that was, what was that, lick 7, and now we're on to lick 8. Okay, that's about as close as I can get to what's on the record. It's a tricky one, this one. I'll take you through it very slowly. It comes in on the and after the 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's how I think it is on the record. Okay, and then the outro, it goes into that syncopated riff thing then, which goes like this. Like that, okay? So now let's talk about some kind of easier ways of doing that. Well, the first thing to say about the solo is I've tried to get this exactly as I think it is on the record. I've had it actually professionally tabbed out and everything. So it's, if you slow it down, this would seem to be exactly what he's playing on the record. But there's a lot of incidental little things in there that have been tabbed that are kind of just percussive noises and things that are just in his performance. So, for example, at the start of lick 2, we get this little figure. So, which is, to me, he's coming out of lick 1, he's playing lick 1. What he's doing is he's playing lick 1, and then he's just playing a little strum of C minor before he then goes into lick 2. It's tabbed out exactly what he's playing. If you try and play that exactly, as you probably heard I did, it sounds quite stiff. It doesn't sound natural if you're trying to be that precise. I think the point of the solo when he played it is, it's not really that precise. It sounds like he's played it very loose, very fluid. And when there are these little incidental things in between the licks, trying to get them so precise means that your playing actually gets quite rigid. Well, it does for me anyway. So Billy Gibbons is one of these players. I think similar thing like with Jimi Hendrix. So much of Jimi Hendrix, when you see it perfectly tabbed out, it becomes so difficult to kind of play because so much of those little noises and things that he's doing are just incidental to how he's playing. It's more about they're being picked up because of the attitude he's playing with rather than any kind of precision in what he's going for. This, to me, sounds exactly the same. There's a few notes here and there, a few little different bits and pieces, which is just kind of how he's playing it, the attitude, the feel, the flow. And I wouldn't, for me, if I was going to play this in a band, I wouldn't be bothered about such things like that. I'd concentrate on the kind of the important notes in the solo, and then incidental noises, well, you just make those your own if you put them in, and don't try and have to get them exactly how he does it. So what I'll show you now is some alternative approaches. If you take those kind of things out and you just come up with, okay, well, what are the core notes to the solo? I'll show you those, and that actually becomes an easier thing to learn, because a lot of these licks I've found them quite tough to learn, to get all those little individual things in, and even things like the pinched harmonic in, where was that? It was lick, what was that, lick 5? I mean, I'll be honest, just I can't do it. I'm concentrating on too many other things to think about at the same time. Oh, and I've got to get that particular pinched harmonic in at that point. So I think something like that he'll get, just because he's playing with that kind of attitude, and one pops out. And that's kind of like, I wouldn't worry about exactly nailing that. I just kind of get the solo down. So I'll show you like how I would approach this. I probably wouldn't go there. I probably wouldn't start here. I think that's where he's playing, because it's got these double stops things like, where's that? That one appears in lick 3, and then in lick 4 you've got this. Now you can't play that up here. I mean, that just becomes too difficult. But what I would do is I'd move the whole solo up to this position here, box position 1 of C. The whole solo is in C, by the way. And I would do it then. I would simplify a few of these licks. So lick 1, I would do like this. And lick 2, I wouldn't worry about the incidental noises. I'd just play a simplified version of that, which would be something like. Okay, and lick 3, I wouldn't worry about hitting 2 strings at the same time. I'd do something like this. So lick 4, I'd simplify. I wouldn't play two strings at the same time. I'd probably just play something like. That would leave your index finger here then for lick 5, which gives you in the right position, and that would go like this. So I would do that. I kind of simplify that down as well, that slide between the notes on the A string. Lick 6, I would then play up here. Lick 7, I'd probably then just play as it's written. But then lick 8, this is one I really would kind of, I'd change. I'd simplify this down to be this. When you hear that lick on the original recording, there's this kind of weird thing going on where when he gets to, it definitely sounds like there's this bend here. And then when he plays this bit here, there definitely, if you slow it down and listen to it, definitely sounds like what he's doing is he's playing 8, and then taking 7, and this is on the G string, and bending the 7 up to become the 8, so you get. Which, I'll be honest, at that speed, that's kind of tricky to get. I tend to just slide it down. But if I was doing this myself in a band, I wouldn't worry about all those kind of little nuances. I'd just simplify it to be. And that he ends it with, on the original kind of, the last note is the open A string. I'd probably just hit the D string twice. So again, that last lick, if you're going to simplify it, I'd do it like this. And then you're back into the that thing there, which I think I just played it wrong anyway, but you know what I mean. Okay, so they're all the licks. That's how I would attempt it. If you want a copy of the tab, I'll send you a copy of the tab with both the original version, but also the simplified version as well. So you got both to work from. Send me an email, details in the description below. The tab is free. It's paid for by the Patreon support. Patreon supporters pay for the lights and the tab being made and the cameras and everything else. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. If you have found it useful, you want to leave me a little tip to help finance the channel, then details are below. I've got a PayPal tip jar where you can do that. Thanks for watching. Please hit like, subscribe, all those usual things, and I'll see you again.